Hey folks, let's learn something new about the oil and gas industry. All right, today we have a very special guest, but because I couldn't get there in person, we're doing this via Skype. So you have Mary Edwards with the Bakken Business Journal. How you doing, Mary?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Wonderful. How's the weather up there today?
We got 16 inches of snow, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, compared here in Houston where it's 82 degrees and we haven't seen snow in 5 years. Yeah, I'm a bit jealous. So, Mary, you have just a fascinating story, and it's interesting because typically in this situation, you, the interviewee, would have found me online. In this case, I found you online.
This is true. LinkedIn is a very powerful tool.
Yeah, so I ran across Mary on LinkedIn and I watched her story and I watched what she was doing. And it's like, she would just be a great guest for the show. So, Mary, before we get into what you're doing now, you're actually somewhat new to the oil and gas industry. So let's talk about where you started and then how you got where you are now.
Well, I started in graphic design and advertising back in the day in Bozeman, Montana. First job I had running an advertising department while I was still doing my senior thesis. So it was, an incredible journey from the get-go. Transcended from then into running my own marketing business, and then boom, oil exploded in my backyard, and I was like, why am I not a part of this? This looks like so much fun, and it's so exciting.
Yeah.
So I dove right in.
So let me ask you, so when you got started doing graphic artists, a lot of that was print, right?
Um, yeah, initially in my day it was, but I kind of came on the cusp of when things started going more digital and social media and all that right
So
after I got going.
So was it a bit surprising to you when you stepped in oil and gas and they weren't there yet, that print was still the dominant method of communication?
Not at all. That's why I chose it. I love print, and I there's just something about the tactile quality of things that we lose a little bit via the internet. And some of that's coming back around because people are figuring out how to kind of package it all together. But yeah, the whole good old boy thing, I was very, very much intrigued on how the whole business would play out.
Yeah, and it's interesting. So because you were in that digital world, that social media, and you came to oil and gas, you're starting to see it start from scratch again in oil and gas, aren't you? Where the oil and gas industry is just now starting adopting stuff that everybody else adopted 10 years ago.
Right, exactly. And there's just so much interaction and so much thought sharing and stuff that goes on in oil and gas.
So that's a perfect segue. So now you're the publisher at the Bakken Business Journal. What's some of the things you've run across that you didn't suspect was going to happen in the oil and gas business?
Well, I didn't expect prices to go where they did this past year. That said, I mean, everybody knows it's a cycle. I was told that from the minute I got in. It's boom and it's bust, and then it's, toss it back up in the air again and it's boom.
Yeah, for this is your first downturn. It can be a bit traumatic to see companies slash revenues, 20, 30, or 40%, and the layoffs coming. But I promise you it will come back. And I promise you if you stick in it long enough, it'll happen again. And you'll be telling somebody what I'm telling you. It's okay. It'll come back. I promise you.
Oh yeah, I'm not worried. I don't like seeing people struggle. I don't like seeing people lose their jobs or, friends and associates, colleagues, you know, trying to make that tough decision. Do we stick it out or do we close up shop? That's kind of, the downside of it all. But I agree with you wholeheartedly. The people that stick it out, you'll see a whole different ball game here in a couple of years, maybe by the end of this year. Who knows?
Yeah, I hope so. We're actually forecasting the end of 2016 the price to come back. So I hope I'm right about that. But yeah, it's always, I mean, you don't like to see people suffer. And you talked a little bit about this earlier about the good old boy network. But this industry, even though it's global and it's ginormous, it's still about people doing business with people. Do you find that as well?
That's what I love about it, is that I did have a little bit of preconceived notion about who these people were, these mysterious people in oil and gas. And I am telling you, I have never met the quality of people to work with. We get out and about quite a bit. We go to somewhere around 15 events a year, and the people are phenomenal. They're what really makes this business so much fun.
Yeah, so you're part of the family, and it really is a family. I love that part of this industry. And the nice thing is, no matter where you go in the world, right, you go someplace where there's oil and gas, and you're part of that family.
This is true.
So let's talk a little about the Bakken Business Journal. Y'all are looks like to me a semi publication where you're half print and half online. Is that close?
Yeah, we kind of just package it all together and take advantage of any network streams we have, whether it be digital or print. Face to face. That whole getting to know our customers, getting to know the people in the industry was one of the first things we set out to do.
And it looks like y'all have been very successful. You mentioned shows. I've seen your presence at quite a few shows in your geographic area out there. Is that something that's in your business plan y'all do every year?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's part of our distribution plan. It's part of, getting to know our customers, the whole human to human thing that sometimes does get lost when you're just trying to go straight social media or doing sales calls by internet and email and all that.
Yeah, and so I had actually a service company in your neck of the woods reach out to me, and they basically said when oil's $100 a barrel, we were making money like crazy. We kind of got away from our core business, actually a family-run business, about going out and meeting our vendors, meeting our buyers, getting to know them. And they go, now that the prices have dropped, we're struggling now because we didn't spend the time to make those network connections. Is that something that your publication can help with?
Well, absolutely. And that, the people that do advertise in our publication, I feel like they get to know each other. Um, we all just run into each other out at the events, and that's so much fun. Share ideas. And that's where it really is a successful piece for us in our business plan that we write right from the get-go, hit the road, got to know people, got the publication out there, and we are a family-run business. I employ three of my family members in the business, and I'm telling you, I've never had so much fun working with people that you just have this company culture that we've created.
Yeah, so y'all have a community in oil and gas. You're once again, it's that people doing business with people, and I love that. So if people want to learn more about you and the Bakken Business Journal, where should they go?
We have a website. Ta-da! BakkenOilBiz.com. That's where obviously the digital edition of the journal is. And we supplement that by being connected on LinkedIn and Facebook and Twitter. But yeah, just come to the website or pick up the phone and call us.
Yeah,
We like that.
so we're not going to put your phone number in the show notes. People have asked me to do that, and there's some strange people out there. But we will absolutely put a link to your website. So folks, especially if you're doing business in that part of the country, if you have an interest in what Mary's doing, or if you just want to meet somebody really cool in the industry, reach out to her, and she has a great group of people doing some really great stuff out in the Bakken. So Mary, I keep saying Bakken Business Journal, but you're much bigger than just the Bakken, right?
This is true. We actually started because the Bakken boomed right in our backyard, but then we realized we are the Bakken and beyond because right from the get-go, we've mailed nationwide and actually distribute the digital pub by email internationally.
Yeah, so when I keep saying people can reach out to you, you can help them in the Bakken, you can help them anywhere.
Yep, that's our plan. We are just oil all the way through.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We plan to make it to Texas someday too, just to visit.
You have to make it to Texas if you're. So, Mary, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, folks, I hope this helped. We will see you next time.